All right, guys, what is going on? This is VF Baller of the First and Frame Rate Show, and I'm going to talk about my affiliate BetUS. I've been using these guys for a couple of weeks, and it is one of the best sites that I've been using. And right now, they have a special going on. If you click the link down in the description, put in $100, that $100 will be doubled and then some. You'll get 125% sportsbook bonus. You're already winning out the gate. Soon as you go in, you double your money. And you might want to bet on these Georgia Southern Eagles. They are 4-point underdogs, 4.5-point underdogs. I think they'll be fine on that. The money line looks good as well. The Falcons, my other team, they're 3-point favorites against the Chicago Bears. That's not a bad look either. I want to give you another one before I get out of here and start the show. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers are going to Auburn. They're 5-point underdogs. I think that'll be another one you may want to try out. You probably can win that and probably get some money on the money line as well. Auburn has not looked too good this year. Western Kentucky can put up points, so that's going to be my three. Click the link down in the description. Go ahead, put that $100 down, double your money, and then bet on a few of these games, preferably the three I talked about, and make some money for your Black Friday. All right, y'all. You guys enjoy the show. All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 479 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And I want to talk about Georgia Southern again today. I know I kind of go back and forth day by day. I don't really be, consistent talking about one team back to back unless something really going on. But Georgia Southern is about to play Marshall, which probably, to be honest, maybe the biggest and most important game of the season. There's a lot riding on this game, and I really want to talk about that, give you my thoughts and opinions, and hopefully they'll be able to pull this out. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I want to appreciate everybody who's been listening and watching the show for the past week or so. There's been pretty good topics going out that we talked about this week, and you guys basically gave me some good feedback, just by listening and giving me more views and more clicks than pretty much than any other week. It's been a while since I got this much attention. I really appreciate it. It all thanks to you, and I try to continue to do my best to be the best at what I do. So I really appreciate that. Like I said, I could be found on all these platforms. Also, all the links are down in the description if you want to check that out. And I want to go ahead and get into this a little bit early and give you my thoughts and opinions, because something about this game is alarming me. It kind of got me a little nervous, but I still think Georgia Southern, they could pull this out. They should pull this out. They need to pull this out. This is a very important game, because this game will have them, make them bowl eligible. They will keep them above 500, and for the most part, it'll keep the team in pretty good standing for the year. Basically doubling your win total. My thoughts and opinions, thinking that there was going to be 8-4, has kind of been shattered. They're 5-5 right now, and it's still not that bad of a season considering where we came from, but I expected more. But at the end of the day, I am pleased with where this team is. And now at 5-5, they're going to be playing Marshall, and Marshall's at 6-4. Kind of a letdown for Marshall after them beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame. And I think that was like the same week we beat Nebraska at Nebraska. So, these two teams are coming off of really big wins earlier this season. But ever since then, it seems like that both teams have sputtered, and they kind of like haven't picked up the fire and the heat like they're used to, they were doing in the beginning of the season. But right now, with Marshall at 6-4, they're trying to solidify themselves as a prominent team in the Sun Belt, winning 7 games if they do end up beating Georgia Southern, which I hope that don't happen. And all this other and all the things behind that, I hope that Georgia Southern will be able to pull this off. And to be honest, the way it looks like it's going to start with Kyle Vantrease. Kyle Vantrease once again, with a lot of the young receivers that we talked about earlier this week, going to be playing. There's also rumblings that Jeremy Singleton will be back, so that helps a lot. I expect to see him and Sanders get a lot of touches. And with this defense, the way that Marshall defense is, It's not that bad. They have a pretty good defense, but I think we can be able to get them through the passing game. I really feel that they only allow 16 points a game, which is actually pretty impressive. But for them to have 23 points a game is, actually really surprising. I thought they'd average more. Now the problem is what has me really concerned. Like I said earlier, it's this running back that they have. Laybourne, the running back for Marshall, has already eclipsed over 1,250 yards rushing this season. That's very alarming, and it doesn't bode well for the Georgia Southern Eagles. We don't stop the run very well, and that is something that really bothers me. They're going to try to run the ball heavy. They know that we can't do anything with the running game. They know that, and that's something that we need to really try to clamp down on. Last game they didn't do so well. He ran for only 53 yards, 2.9 yards per carry against Appalachian State, but that doesn't mean anything. These numbers here, with all these other teams, all these numbers that this guy has ran up in the last 4 or 5 games, don't mean much or nothing, because Georgia Southern, we're really bad against the run. And this is the part that bothers me the most when it comes to this team. Now, that's just defensively but offensively, I like what I see out of Kyle Van Treese. I've always liked what I've seen out of him. And if this team, the defense per se, don't put the offense in a hole where we're literally, let's say we're behind by 1 score, we have a chance. But the defense is going to have to hold up their bargain and actually do something. And I think that's basically what it is. I'm not really knowing what the defense of Marshall really looks like. There's a couple of guys on here that we may talk about a little bit later. I really don't want to get into the names of the players. I just don't, because to me it's just this urgent that Georgia Southern needs to win this game, and for them to give up almost 200 yards rushing, for them to almost rush for 200 yards is really alarming. That's something that needs to be fixed. Now, their quarterback, not too worried about the quarterback too much. He hasn't been as productive. Fancher, he's only thrown for 983 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's not a winning recipe. So the ball's probably not going to be in his hands that much. They're probably going to be looking at Laybourne to run the ball and run the ball heavy. I'm really worried about that. That's the part that I'm worried about. You look at the statistics, defensively, a couple of guys that are probably going to stand out. Because offensively, you already know what the offense is through their running back. Defensively, I'm looking at guys that are probably going to be a problem. You look at I want to look at his name right here, Porter. What is his first name? What is this kid's for? Owen Porter. He already has 7.5 sacks this season. Now, I will say, our offensive line is really good, so we should not have to worry about pressure up front. But you just never know. You may have a situation where they'll be able to do something. You also have guys like Cumberland, another guy who has 3.5 sacks already. You have Neal, the linebacker, who leads in solo tackles. As far as interceptions go, you have that's his name, Gilmore, not Bly. I don't know why I thought it was Bly. It's Gilmore. He has 3 interceptions. Abraham has 5. Gray has 2. So this could be the issue where if Kyle Van Treese get too trigger happy, it could be a problem where we can end up turning the ball over. And I don't want that to happen. If anything, I want us to try to run the ball more. Their defense is pretty stout, but I think we can stretch them out and do some things. And that's what I would want the offense to do. Try to stretch this team out and make some things happen, by having this team all over the place. You want them a little bit confused. Also, I don't know if Fancher's going to be starting, but you do have, let me see if he's going to be starting. Did he play last game? Yeah, he played last game, so he'd probably be in there again. It was pretty efficient against Appalachian State, 16 to 28, 225, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was pretty efficient. So our secondary, which is a little suspect with learning a new system, and it's something that they've been doing okay with, for the most part, they've been doing okay, but they've been giving up a lot of plays. And I just don't see that Marshall will be trying to do this type of that type of offense, because their running back has just been playing very well. Very similar to the situation that we had to deal with the running back situation in South Alabama. It looks like we're going to be dealing with that situation again, so we have to do something. We have to do something. We have to do something to stop that run, possibly keeping these guys off the field. You know what I'm saying? Keep these guys off the field, and we can have some melodic, very good drives, steady drives to keep these guys off the field, because we don't want to be in a situation where we are trying to play catch up because the defense can't keep the other guys off the field. I'm looking at this defense. They look pretty decent as far as Marshall goes, but I feel like Georgia Southern still can do some things in the passing game. We got too many weapons. We just have too many weapons to not do anything. So I want to see us counter their running game with our passing game. If we can do that, then it's going to be a pretty good game. I mean, if you look at a team that we had to deal with that before, it just seemed like it happened so long ago, but the Nebraska game, they had a couple of good running backs, but we was able to hold them off and actually get the lead and keep the lead. A couple of other games, James Madison had a pretty good running back, was able to beat them. South Alabama, we could have beat them. We just fell apart at the end. But even with Coastal Carolina, same thing. We just have to find a way to tighten things up and clamp things down. As far as defensively Georgia Southern goes, I'm not really sure where they stand there. I just don't know. So my thing about that is, I think my thing about that is, I just wish the defense just was able to. It will be able to tackle better, because I think that's the problem with Georgia Southern, is that we're just not tackling as well. It's not the fact that we can't get to the point of attack. It's not the fact that we can't do anything as far as getting a hat on a hat. It's just that we're just not wrapping up and bringing guys down. And with a guy like Labrum, that's going to be the key. Like, is he going to be able to run the ball as tough as it looks like he has been? I've seen him run a few plays. Well, I've seen a few plays of him throughout the season. It looks like he's going to be somewhat of a problem for Georgia Southern. But I hope Georgia Southern will be able to do something with that. It will be really, really cool to get this W. Because like I said, this game is pretty important. This is a game that you're going to possibly be bowl eligible. You're playing at home. You don't want to go under 500 and all this other thing. It's just not going to be the best look in the world if that happens. Because then you're going to have to possibly go for 6-6 and have to play Appalachian State. And you just don't want to be trying to backdoor into a bowl game. You want to take care of business this Saturday. So hopefully we'll figure all that out. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think of this my pregame thoughts. I don't see nothing that really stands out. I mean, Marshall has some talented guys. Georgia Southern has some talented guys as well. And if we can keep it at a point where we don't make any mistakes, we should be able to come away with the victory. Because I think that even though their running back is what he is, the only way that we're going to be able to stop that is we're going to have to be efficient on the field, actually tackling, getting off the field, and let the offense come back and do their thing. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be out here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I will see you guys on Friday. And I think if you've been following me on Twitter, you already know I'm going to be at this game, but I'll talk about that more extensively. All right, y'all. I'll talk about that more extensively later on, maybe Friday or Saturday. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.